Everyone, it's Samantha, and today's recipe is not really that much of a recipe. I'm going to show you two ways to make stuffed shells. One way is with shredded chicken, and so what I did to get started with this one is I went ahead and started boiling my jumbo shells. These are just a store brand one that I picked up, and I'm following the package directions, just cooking them till al dente. And I diced up some green pepper. I left some of it in strips. I'll use that part later. I've got some minced garlic to add to this. Also, I've got about a half of a jar of marinara sauce here. And then I made the shredded chicken like I always make it in the crock pot with some water, and I just let it run on low until it's cooked and tender. Then you can just shred it up, even just with your fingers. It's super duper easy. So I've got it on a plate here cooling, and I'm going to saute some diced green peppers and onions and some olive oil with a little bit of garlic. And so here's what those look like. And now I'm going to finish off my rest of my ingredients. I'm going to be using this baking dish here. I shredded all of my chicken, and I'm going to use maybe a third of this chicken. The rest I'm going to put in this container and put in the freezer for another meal later on. It's always great to have shredded chicken in the freezer. Somebody had asked before, it does get a little bit dry, but I use it in recipes like this with some juice or some sort of sauce or in some soup, so they don't end up being super dry. So here is what I did. I emptied out my jar and added a little bit of water so I could get all the rest of that out. And this is going to be the bottom of my dish. And this will just keep my pasta nice and tender when it cooks in the oven. So here's me loading down my stuffed shells. I just grab the shell with one hand and I cheat and use this little medium scoop to stuff the shells. And I don't know a nicer, cleaner way to do this. I always get my hands super messy when I'm stuffing the shells. So I just stuff as many as will fit in this dish, and I have a little bit of the mixture left over. I go ahead and just put it over the top of my stuffed shells. Here's what the stuffed shells look like in my dish. I did have a little bit of the sauce left over, so I went ahead and just poured this over the top and spread it out. And then to bake this, I'm just going to wrap it in foil and bake it in the oven on 350 for 30 to 45 minutes, just until everything's cooked through and everything's nice and hot. And you could add like mozzarella cheese on top of here, but this is for my husband and he's not a big fan of cheese. So for my next stuffed shells, I'm doing spinach and artichoke stuffed shells. And I'm basing this little mini recipe off of Al Roker's artichoke cheese dip, which is so delicious. So I've got my spinach, my Colby Jack cheese. You can use whatever kind of cheese you want. I'm using about 1/4 cup of mayonnaise. Also a can of artichokes and a tiny bit of hot sauce. I just sprinkled a little bit in. So I went ahead and stuffed these the exact same way as before and covered them with cheese and then wrapped them in foil and baked them alongside those shredded chicken ones. And here's what everything looks like as it's coming out of the oven. The cheesy stuffed shells are so good. And then here are my husband's. He also said his were really good. So I did two different ones because I really wanted the spinach artichoke and he does not like anything like that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this quick video. Somebody had asked for this recipe, so I wanted to share it with you guys. Be sure to subscribe so you know when I update, and I'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.